Good morning on this June 8th, 2015. It's Monday and S&P 500 futures are starting the week to the downside, down almost 0.2%. Go back to last summer, the middle of last summer, draw a trend line across from the lows, heading up this move to record highs earlier this year. And we're right about at support. We got a little bit more downside to go before we should get a bounce similar to the ones that we've seen along the way from this rally to record highs. We had the jobs report last week, fueling a sell-off in the bond market continuing from, you can see it started the year with a parabolic move to the upside. This is the TLT, 20-year bond treasury fund. Higher prices implying lower interest rates. And now as we're starting to sell off, the market's starting to price in the possibility of higher interest rates. We'll see if that does indeed come to fruition. The 30-year bond treasury futures here as well, pulling back. This morning, seeing a little bit of a bounce as the stock market is selling off. Gold futures as well, bouncing a little bit this morning. Let's look at the U.S. dollar index, which is consolidating after soaring into triple digits for the first time in, 12 years, something like that. And you can see the move up. We're consolidating here. And again, I would talk about this, a couple of my updates the last few weeks, about a consolidation here before possibly heading back up into triple digits. Let's look at some individual names to start the morning. It's about 15 minutes before the opening bell. And let's look at Intel, because I talked about this at the start of last week. And it did not look good the whole week. I was talking about getting puts. I got into the July 33 puts. We closed at 31.84. Is a great move to the downside. We're going to see a possible continuation. The problem is heading into this week after that big sell-off 5 straight days, we're getting quite oversold. So if we look for the 2-year chart, you can see the head and shoulders topping pattern. We can look for a little bit of a bounce here this week, but continuation down to this neckline. This is back in April, and you look back to October. And also in the summer of last year, support at that 30 level. And if we could break below that, we're looking at a price down to about 23. Wells Fargo analyst Wong looks like he's wrong so far. Says he's got a $40 to $50 target after the acquisition news last week. So far, not looking good as it's pulling back. Home Depot, look at Home Depot here up. This morning, analysts came out with some positive comments on the stock. You can see it's up against support here at about 110. Looking for a move up to record highs. I'm looking for July calls on Home Depot. Hewlett-Packard I talked about last week as well. The stock was implied via the options for a 40-cent move. It got more than that as the week progressed. We were up over 34. Closed down 32.70, down $1.40 from those prices. A pretty dramatic move to the downside. And we're going to see continued weakness. The analysts out talking about PC companies and chip makers. We could see a move down at about the 27.50 level long term for Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett. Who cares? It's HPQ is the ticker. Who cares what it's called? Wynn Resorts, and I was talking about this as well last week. You can see it hit a low at about 98. Nice strong bounce, but if you look, go back a little, back. You can see from the long-term perspective here, we came right near support. We have this nice candle, but if you look from a long-term perspective, just a little drop in the bucket here. And I think we're going to see continued weakness. We could possibly break through this 95 level. So I'm not so sure the selling is done yet for Wynn Resorts. I wanted to bring up TLT because it's been a very interesting chart through the years. You can see this long-term trend line got broken. That's actually 2 lines here that broke. We briefly came back up to kiss it. And wow, goodbye. We're getting a little bit of bounce here for TLT this morning. But from long term, you look at this channel, I think it's back in the channel again. We're going to get down to about 100 here over the next couple months for TLT. Yeah, you know me. Finally, look at Goldman Sachs. The financials breaking out. Look at all these lines. But this long-term trend line here worked as a springboard up. We're nearing the financial crisis highs. My goodness, get ready for that market crash. Yeah. And Netflix. Talked about this in the chat room, also on Twitter. Impervious to any kind of downside trading, irrespective of whatever the market does. Sometimes you see the market get smacked down. Netflix just hangs tough. Hanging. All right, forget it. You see this breakout here to the upside. It's going to open this morning at new record highs for Netflix. Netflix for the shorts is the new black and blue. Is that the show? All right. All right, it's enough. I'll see you in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great start to your week. Goodbye.